Morning. So it's morning, so please don't mind the hair. Today we're doing some slab surfacing. See if I can flip this around. The slab started off, it's probably about a 12-footer, and I began slabbing it out from the other end. And I got to a point where I found there was so much twist, it was getting to the point where the amount of material that was going to be removed would make this basically unusable. A lot of work to get very little pieces of wood. So I made the executive decision, go ahead and chop that off. And now trying to salvage what I can out of this piece. I've leveled out the four corners, taken a single skim pass, so you can see we got it pretty close here. Only took off maybe a 32nd of an inch, 3/32. But these black lines, basic grease pencil, it's nothing more than a guide to show you where you cut, what's been cut off. This right here has a change in plane that you can kind of see, and that's a result of the twist and the milling of this side first. And what we're going to do is we're going to try and take this down to the point where we can get better stock out of this end. So from there to there, we can get 18.5-inch boards out of that, 18-inch boards, be able to cut them down to a nice milled out 16, use them for projects, cabinetry, etc. But on this end here, we're going to try and get the full 33 as wide as we can. And these black lines, as I mill them away, are going to leave behind what's on this off plane. And it'll show me exactly where that division is, so I can make some efficient cuts. So I'm going to go ahead and take another skim coat off of this, maybe a 1/16 of an inch, and we'll look back on it. That cut out of the way, let's see what we got here. A little bit of tear out there. I heard the knot chip away when I went over that section. But all in all, it's a beautiful, beautiful piece of maple. A lot of really nice figure in it. Nice color variations. This is right off the property here. Came down out back in those woods. Right over my wife's hunting stand. So we had to make sure that was taken down so it wouldn't take her down. But now going back to these lines, because this is a plane and this is another plane, this corner point here, all the way on across, that should form a straight line. Now, take my precision straight edge, put that on there, and look at that. So we can project that right there. Is the widest piece of board that we can get if we cut this lengthwise. I'll have some scrap here. Maybe we can salvage this other block, make some cross cuts out of it, throw together one of them fancy breadboards. All right, I'm happy with that. I'm going to flip it over and do the other side. All right, so we flipped this board over. I got it secured down with a little bit of hot glue, and drop the bit 1/64 just to kick in and see what kind of twist, what kind of cup, what are we dealing with on the backside. Because when it's down on the table and you got stuff wedged up, you don't know what's going on here. You've just squared up the top. So finding the low points. Got a low point through here, got a low point out on this corner. This whole center section doesn't seem to be just what it wants to be. So let's go ahead and see just where we are at. I got a vernier height gauge that I use for this. It's not a necessity. Very helpful. I used to use one in the shop. Got a clean cut on this side. So I'm going to come over here. We'll sneak up on this. There we go. And zero that out. Now we can come out here. Oops. We can see that that is a significant difference in height right there. Matter of fact, I'll turn this around so that we can see the dial. We got that zeroed. Boom. Yeah, that's significant. We're looking at almost 1/4 of an inch coming off of that. So we're going to lose some. Let's go test a couple of other spots. All right, that's higher. That could even be a little bit lower. Well, it's about the same. Not too bad. But, you know, initially this stuff was cut with a chainsaw, so I'm pretty happy. Drying process, let it twist a little bit. Is what it is. It's wood, it's water. And it's all organic. It's going to do what it's going to do. So let's go ahead and get chopping on this. So we took off 1/16 of an inch, put some grease pencil markings on it just to kind of do the same thing that we did last time, but with less artistic ability. And you can see the difference between the pretty stuff and the not so pretty stuff. So this is 1/16 of an inch. Got a few more cuts to go. I like to go shallow on my cuts. It seems to give a cleaner cut. You don't get as much tear out. You're going to get some areas that they want to lift, but that's all stuff that can be cleaned up later. But yeah, we're well on our way. Nice knot, spalting, beautiful grain. I love wood. It's so pretty. All right, finish this one up. So it's getting a little bit of twist when I flip this over. It shouldn't have rocked corner to corner like it did. I knew there was going to be this undercut where the heavy hogging had come out. So when I got it all wedged up, I started thinking about it. I measured a point there, I measured a point there, I measured a point there, and a point here. That gives me my square. That should be parallel to the tabletop and at the same height side to side. That way you're not high here, low here, low here, high here, putting in a high point that goes across this way. Zoom down this way. Now we can see more stuff. So when I went through and measured things, this point here versus this point here, this one was 40 thousandths heavy, which means from here to here, I got a significant twist. So I got to lift that corner 40 thousandths. Got this clamp off. I got to go around and take the other clamp off. Just using paper to shim it up. It's an old shop trick that we used to use back in the day. It should work fine. I'll get all these leveled out and then we'll check them again. All right. I'll be right back. With my bonehead move out of the way, got everything wedged up. That's looking good. This was our test. There's our zero. Lift that off. Come down to this end. See, pro tip, piece of paper, figure out its thickness, start folding it. Fold it as many times as you need. This one only needed 2 folds. So that is just dead knobs end to end. Let me get over here. This thing's heavy. Ugh. Used to use these verniers in the shop. Wonderful. You can use a dial gauge same way. You just got to make sure you got a consistent. All right, so about 1 thousandths high there. Nope. About a 1/2 thou. I think that's close enough for what we're doing. This wood's going to be milled down again. It's going to hit the joiner, it's going to hit the planer. This is just to get some rough stock. It's fairly parallel and easy to begin with. So what are we at there? Ooh. Says we're still about 11 thou shy. Okay, no problem. No problem at all. We'll fold this piece of paper again and reset it. Probably bared down when clamp got put on, so come right back. 2 more folds. Let's see what we got. That I don't get. Okay, I boosted it up and it still didn't. So let me figure this out.
I'm back. It only took 37 years to get this thing zeroed, but...
No, really, it actually took a while. Another learning process. So I got my clamp here, and we're about 14 inches down, 15 inches down. And I was fighting with this value going up and down, up and down, up and down. Couldn't understand what was going on. Well, clamping pressure was enough to take this little gap that goes from here out to the table here and drive a little bit of flex in there. So now I've gone through and checked some points in the middle and everything looks good to go. So we're going to go back to seeing if we can't flatten the rest of this slab. I think we're still at 3/16 to go. We'll see you back shortly. All right, so got to change the setup a little bit. This Bosch router's got 3 settings for depth, so you can get different depths for different lengths of bits. And the bottom setting, I can reach down probably 1.5 inches below, which we're a little bit shy of that on this. So I couldn't go any deeper, so I had to shim the stock up. Pro tip from a rookie, another one. Ooh, dead bug. Sweet. Press board, 1/4 inch. Cut it out of the same board. It's going to be really darn close to being the same, as long as it hasn't swelled on you. Another tip, old pieces of flooring out of the same lots. Close in thickness that you can use them to shim that up. If you're doing a thinner board than what we have here and you have to get it up a little bit higher, put those down. You can tack them to your table, either with a screw, with a hot glue. Don't want to use a clamp. Don't get the metal in the way of the router head. And then secure that to the shim and be ready to go. So, alrighty. We've gone through, flipped it over, done another skim pass to take out any of that cupping that I was initially feeling, not we. You guys weren't involved at all. You just got to sat and laugh. So, looks pretty good. Our line here moved ever so slightly just because of the 30-second skim. 3/64, 2/64, I don't know. There's a little bit. But, all right. Another pro tip. Clean off your calipers. look for a digital that has fractional display on it. Really helps in when you're milling to depth. So you want to get down, what are we netting here? We are netting 2 21/64. Better try that again, just to make sure. Two and 19/64. So 9/30 seconds. 4/16 a quarter. So we're just heavy 2 1/4. But nice thing about these calipers, it's got the fractional display. And some of your tools, you're lined up in metric. Some of them you're lined up fractional. Some you're measuring thou. So decimal place. But my particular router, which is still plugged in, its adjustment scale is fractional. So having a fractional set of calipers, knowing how much depth you gotta adjust for, makes a real easy conversion from this tool to that tool. Really help you out. So all done with this one. I'm gonna keep on other projects. And thanks for stopping by.